that there's going to be such a need for them. You guys don't understand the opportunity that we have here with indexed annuities to be able to service clients at a very, very high level. Clients are very, very scared. They're not going to make any decisions right this minute because nobody's even leaving their house for the most part. But they're going to be making decisions over the course of the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, next 2 years, right? They're going to be making major decisions with their finances. And indexed annuities is really the way to go. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to read you this case study. So I've talked to a couple of you guys and I've told you that I'm working on systemizing everything. And part of that process is creating case studies for you. Okay. And the case studies that we're going to create for you are for the purpose of just giving you examples as far as how to use the products. Because I think a lot of the times we don't know exactly how to use a product. And I think once you have a better understanding of that, then it's going to be easier for you to identify clients and for you to find people that we can help. So, I've been sending these to my assistant, Bianca. Okay, so here's a case study. So let's go through this real quick. This is an annuity case study. It says Joe is 59 years old and had just lost 36% of his money with the coronavirus epidemic. Now, I created this case study exclusively for what's happening right now. So Joe is 59 years old. He has just lost 36% of his money with the coronavirus epidemic. He had his money in an account that plays the market. That could be a 401k, that could be a TSP, that could be mutual funds. There's a lot of different types of accounts that play the market. He was very excited because 2019 was a great year. 2019 was a great year for everybody, right? Now he has lost a lot of money and is looking for options. So he sits with Raul, a financial advisor that was recommended to him by one of his close friends. Raul starts to break down Joe's finances and recommends Joe start making some adjustments to an instrument that's a little bit more conservative where he can currently keep his money in. So Raul recommends an annuity as a safe place to put Joe's funds until he chooses to retire. Joe tells Raul that he has always heard that annuities are bad. So this is a very common misconception, ladies and gentlemen, and you may have heard of this before. A lot of our clients have. Annuities are bad. Annuities are bad instruments. They tie up your money for a very long time. They don't make you any interest. Although there are some annuities that suck, right? We have spent a lot of time and a lot of effort finding the best annuities for our clients. So just like there's shitty mutual funds, just like there's shitty 401k accounts, there's shitty annuities, there's shitty everything, right? We have spent a lot of time finding the not shitty products, finding the products that are really going to do right by our clients, the ones where they can make some amazing interest rate accumulation and have all the safety in the world. So Raul explains to Joe that just like any other financial instrument, annuities come in many different options and structures. Raul breaks down an annuity for Joe and elaborates that an annuity is a financial agreement between Joe and an insurance company. So let me park that for just a second. Whenever a client sets up an annuity, he's setting up this annuity as a financial agreement with a life insurance company. If you guys don't know a whole lot about life insurance companies, the A-rated life insurance companies that are in existence today have been around for hundreds of years and have more money than the banks. So when you're looking for strong financial institutions, it doesn't get a whole lot stronger than an insurance company. They have a lot of money. Why do they have to have a lot of money? Because they have to be able to pay out hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in death benefit claims. And in order for them to be able to do that, they need to have a large amount of assets, right? Because like, for example, right now, this epidemic that's happening, what if more people die during this epidemic than ever before? An insurance company needs to be financially prepared for something like this, and they need to have enough assets and enough liquidity to be able to pay out all those claims. And because of that, ladies and gentlemen, is why annuities are such a phenomenal place to park your money, because you're doing a financial agreement with an insurance company. And as long as it's an A-rated insurance company, then rest assured, you know that your money's in a safe place and they're going to be able to back it up because they've been around for a long time and they have a lot of money. Okay, so in essence, I just want you to understand that an annuity is a financial agreement between the client and the insurance company. With this agreement, Joe is agreeing to leave his money with the insurance company for a certain period of time. In return for parking his funds with the insurance company is going to give Joe some guarantees. Joe is going to pay no fees and is going to have no risk associated with the account. Let me go over that again. Joe will pay no fees. So if Joe puts $100,000 into an annuity, once again, it just depends what type of annuities, because there are annuities that do have fees, but we're talking about the annuities that we're offering clients. If Joe puts the money with the annuity company, he's going to have no fees and he's going to have no risk. So worst case scenario, if the market tanks, which it just did, right, Joe is going to be exactly the same as he was before. Whatever amount of money Joe put into the account, it's still there. It hasn't gone up, but it hasn't gone down. And Joe is going to be able to capitalize on the upside performance and of the interest crediting options that are chosen for him. Now, the only trade-off, there is a trade-off, is that Joe is going to have to leave his money with the company for 7 years. So let me park there for just a second. There's different lengths to annuities. There are 5-year annuities, which means you have to leave your money in there for 5 years. There's 7-year annuities, and there's 10-year annuities. The better annuities that we have, the ones that are projecting the highest interest rate accumulation, are the 7 and the 10-year. We have a 5-1, but it doesn't look as sexy as the 7 and the 10. Okay, so for this particular example, because we sell a lot of 7-year annuities, I just went ahead with the 7-year example. So Joe is going to have access to 10% of his account every year for the 7 years. And at the end of the 7-year mark, Joe has access to all of his money, and he can choose to leave it in the annuity or move it somewhere else. This is very important, ladies and gentlemen, because at the end of the 7-year mark, let's say Joe put in $100,000, and at the end of the 7 years, he has $160,000 because of interest accumulation. At that point, Joe can say, I'm going to take my $160,000 and move it somewhere else. And we can actually help Joe with that. At that point, we can say, okay, Joe, so we have all this money. Now we're going to put it into a different financial instrument that's going to give you income for life. So we can start using some of this money, but you don't have to worry about running out of money, because it's going to give you other guarantees, which is income for life. Or Joe can choose to leave it there and continue to participate in the interest rate accumulation of the annuity with all of the same guarantees. So the only trade-off is that for the 7-year mark in this particular annuity, Joe is going to have limited access to his money. He's only going to have access to 10% of whatever he puts into the account. Now, for Joe, since he's 59, age 59 and a half is when clients can access their retirement accounts before paying any penalties. So if you're 59 and a half, you can go in there and access a 401k or an annuity, an IRA, whatever it is that you set up. You can access it without paying any penalties to the government. Because remember, if you access your retirement money before age 59 and a half, there is a penalty involved. The government is going to charge you 10%. And you're also going to have to pay taxes on those distributions, which means that on top of the fact that you're going to have to pay taxes if you touch the money before age 59 and a half, you're also going to have to pay a 10% penalty, which means ballpark figure, you're looking at about 30% of whatever you take out is going to go to the government in taxes and penalties. But since Joe's 59, at 59 and a half, he only has to pay the taxes, no penalties apply. But Joe says, well, I was planning to retire at age 67. I don't need to touch my money until age 67. And this is a 7-year product, which means that it's going to be fully liquid by my age 66. So it works really, really well with my time horizon. So it works perfect for him. And then Raul informs Joe that one of his other clients made 18% interest in 2019. This is actually true. One of my clients did make 18% interest in 2019 with one of our annuities, and right now has lost absolutely nothing. They have lost zero, not a single penny during the coronavirus pandemic. So Joe is sold and sees this as the best fit for him at this time. So these are important things to keep in mind, guys, because I want you to understand that annuities are really strong financial instruments with some amazing, amazing guarantees that very few financial institutions can give a client. So I have a couple of questions. Let me see what you guys got for me. Okay, so George is asking me if clients tie up their money for 5 or 7 years or longer than 5 or 7 years, and he's asking me if there's caps, um, like there is on the IUL. So George, up until this point, the IUL that we have used, which is the IUL with National Life Group, that IUL has caps. The new IULs that we just brought on board have no caps, so the client can make as much as the index does. The annuities that we're pushing for clients have no caps, so the client can make as much as the indexing strategy does. As far as how long to tie up the money, well, it just really depends on the age of the client, right? So in this particular case, since Joe is 59, I'm real hesitant to tie up his money for 10 years. I'd rather tie it up for 7, because he's already a little bit older. But if Joe was 39, right? Remember what I told you, you can't touch your retirement money until you're 59 and a half. So if Joe's 39, I'll put him in a 10-year annuity. Why? Because it doesn't really matter. He can't touch his money for another 20 years. So a 10-year annuity is not really going to do anything for him. Why a 10-year annuity versus a 7-year annuity? Because a 10-year annuity pays more. A 10-year annuity, since it's a longer contract, is going to pay you, the agent, more money than a 7-year annuity, because a 7-year annuity is a shorter contract, right? So there isn't a one size fits all, ladies and gentlemen. This is why sitting down with the client and doing a needs analysis, don't just assume. So I have this happen all the time. Hey, Raul, I have a client that has some money. I'm like, okay, where does your client have the money? Well, I don't know. How old is your client? I think they're in their 50s. Okay. Is this money that hasn't been taxed? I don't know. Well, how the hell am I supposed to help you? I can't help you if you don't get me all the facts. Guys, you need to sit down and don't be lazy. Guys, you can't be lazy. You can't want to help clients with their finances and figure out a good place to park their money, and you can't even get me the information. Get me some information. How old is the client? Where did the money come from? Did it come from a 401k? Did it come from a pension plan? Where is the money in right now? What company? Okay. What type of account? Is it an IRA? Is it mutual funds? Where do they have the money? What's the time horizon? Are they ever going to want to use this money? Are they wanting to leave this money behind for their kids? What additional money aside from this retirement account do they have? Are they getting a monthly income? Are they getting a retirement account? Are they still working? Guys, all of these things are valid, because if I don't have this information, then I can't do anything, because I really just don't know the financial situation of the client. If you bring me a client and they have $25,000, but $25,000 is all that they have to their name, that's it, they don't have anything else, then how am I supposed to tie up the $25,000 for 7 years? It doesn't make any sense, because that's all they have. And if they're limited to 10% for the 7 years and $25,000 is all that they have, then I mean, we're putting the client at a huge, huge disadvantage. But if the client says, I have $25,000, I have money saved in other instruments, I really don't need this money. This money is mainly for my grandkids. So I just kind of want to leave it to them when I die. Okay, great. Well, now I know that they don't need the money. And now I can tie them up for 7 years or 10 years. It doesn't matter. I have to find the product that is going to best fit that scenario. But I can't do things like that if you don't get me enough information. So usually whenever you bring a case to me to help you with, I'm going to ask you for one or two things. Number one, I'm going to ask you to get me all the information. Or number two, I'm going to ask you to put me in front of the client so that I can get all the information and I can better help you. Whenever I help you with a deal, I'm helping you guys. It's your deal. It's your commission. I'm not trying to take your commission. I'm just trying to help you, because if I don't help you, you don't learn. And if I don't help you, you don't make any money. And if you don't make any money, us as an agency, we don't make any money. So my goal is to help you. But the only way that I can help you and the only way that I can help your clients is by getting all the facts and getting all the information. Okay. Any questions? That was a very good question, George. Okay. So now I want to share one more thing with you guys. Most portfolios, whenever you talk to somebody that has an investment portfolio, it's going to consist of stocks and it's going to consist of bonds. Stocks are the riskier investments and bonds are the safer investments, right? So usually the way a bond works is you buy a 7 or a 10-year bond, right? Which means that you need to leave your money in there for 7 or 10 years. And that bond is going to give you a rate of return every year for the 7 years or the 10 years that you leave your money there. What other instrument, this is a trick question, by the way, what other instrument do you park your money there for 7 or 10 years and you make interest every year for the 7 or 10 years that you have your money parked there? And a freaking annuity, ladies and gentlemen, an annuity does the exact same thing. The advantage of the annuity over a bond is that the annuity can also capitalize on the upside of the market. And a bond is very limited, very restricted to that. So this article, I've sent it out before. I don't know how many of you guys were able to take some time to read it. But what this article does is it gives you different scenarios as far as the overall rate of return when you do stocks and bonds versus stocks, bonds, and index annuities, or stocks and index annuities. So let's take a look at this for just a second. If you do 60% stocks and 40% bonds, okay, I want you to take a look at the returns. The overall return through time, 8.55. I really don't think this is going to be very accurate because right now bonds, because of the current market, have gone to shit completely. So the interest rate that bonds are going to yield is going to be very, very low. Okay. If you go 60, 20, 20, 60% stocks, 20% bonds, and 20% index annuities, then the overall return 8.66. If you go 60% stocks and 40% index annuities, FIA means fixed index annuity. So that's what we're talking about. Those are the annuities that we're talking about right now. Then your overall performance was 8.77, which is the highest of the three. Like I said, I think right now they're being very generous with these bond returns because I really don't anticipate them returning this amount of money, not in this market. Okay. So 60% stocks and 40% bonds is good. 60% stocks and 40% index annuities is better. When we start talking to the more educated clients, because you are going to run into clients that are well educated, they're going to be 60-40, 60% stocks, 40% bonds. So what if you tell them, look, I personally think that an index annuity is going to outperform this bond. So let's do this. Let's do 60, 20, 20. If it's a high net worth individual, maybe they have $1 million. If they have $1 million, 600,000 of that is in stocks. And you can say, put 200,000 in bonds and then put 200,000 in an index annuity and let's see how we perform. And I guarantee you at the end of the 5 or 7 year mark, when they see the actual average of that index annuity, eventually they may even go 60-40, 60 in your favor. They may take 60% of their stock and dump it into an index annuity, and then the 40% leave it in stocks. They might flip it around, especially in this market. We live in very volatile times. What do I mean by volatile times? I mean that it's no longer the economy that we used to have back in 1970, 1980, where everything was booming and, you know, America was the place to be. It's not like that anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Companies are here one day and they're gone the next. A bunch of crazy shit happens nowadays. It's no longer the nice and steady flow that we used to have. And because of that, you want to be able to capitalize in the upside and have that downside protection. I have a question. Oh, Jaime Infante is asking me if a bond is a fixed rate. Usually, yes, a bond would be a fixed rate. But anything with fixed rates right now, whether it's bonds or whether it's CDs, like I said, all that is going to go to shit, man. I mean, the rates are going to be incredibly low. So the only way that you're really going to be able to capitalize on the upside and have that downside protection is with an indexed annuity. That's a very good question, Infante. Now, there are bonds that that'll give you a variable rate of return, which means that it's going to vary as far as what rate of return they give you on an annual basis, and then some of them are fixed, right? I personally feel like both of them are going to be very, very shady for the next couple of years, which gives us a perfect opportunity to find that blend for clients. You know, and then we have some clients that they don't want to put any money in the market. They're just terrified of it. Okay, well, let's do an index annuity because I can give you the guarantee that you're never going to lose any money. I have a lot of clients that fall into that scenario. Let me see. I think I had. Okay, I want to share this with you guys real quick. I'd already trashed it. Some good questions, guys. Good questions. So this is one of our strongest indexed annuities at the moment that we're using a lot. It's with a company that we have called F&G. Okay. And so I made this exclusively to go along with this case study that I was showing you. All right. So Joe is 59. Okay. I'll get back to that client just a second. Okay. So we take a look at the end of age 60, which we've had the policy for 1 year. 187,000 is what we put into the account. Okay. At the end of year one, we made 6.7%. 199,000 is our new account value. End of year two, 210,000. End of year three, 223,000. End of year four, 238,000. End of year five, 266. And we start seeing the interest rate accumulation really beef up the account throughout the years. So right now, this is where all of our index annuity clients are at, which is the 0%. 0% interest. They're not making money, but they're not losing money either. Okay. Year seven, if it's a 7-year contract, we're at 277,000. Year eight, at this point, everything is fully liquid. He has access to the full amount. We're at 303,000. We had a rate of return of 9.61% for the 8th year. So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, this client can continue to leave their money in here and just continue to take advantage of the interest rates. But he's only tied up for the 10% during the first 7 years. Okay, so he only has access to 10% of whatever he has in the account for the first 7 years. So right here on year four, if he wanted to take out some money, it's 10% of the 238,000, what he has access to. After year seven, he has access to the full shebang. So this is where we can make a decision. Do we want to leave our money here, or do we want to move it somewhere else and start taking income from this money? All right, so it gives you an opportunity to sell the client yet again on a different product, which I'll talk on a different day. Okay, if he chooses to leave the money in here, age 75, 482,000 from the original 187,000 that we put into the account. Notice we've had a couple of 0 years, 0, 0, 0. Guys, I'm here to tell you that there are hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people right now that wish they had a 0% return on their portfolio as opposed to a negative 30 or negative 35%. There's a lot of people. Okay, so this is definitely something that you need to be out there promoting and trying to identify clients for, because it's a huge opportunity. It's going to be a huge opportunity over the course of the next month. It's going to be a huge opportunity over the course of the next year. I think it's going to be a huge opportunity over the course of the next 2 years. People forgot what happened in 2008. They forgot. Everybody forgot what happened in 2008. How we lost, I think, 47% of our portfolio in 2008. People forgot. They just got reminded. They just got a really, really harsh reminder of what the market can do. We have to capitalize on that. If you do not capitalize on that, you're going to miss out on thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in commission. You're going to miss out, ladies and gentlemen, because one annuity can make you several $1,000s in commission, depending on the size of the annuity. So please, please make every effort to let people know, hey, our company, we can help you find safe investment options where you can still make 10%, 11% interest on your money. And in situations like right now, you wouldn't lose any money. That is an amazing, amazing hook. And if you don't know anything about annuities, don't worry about it. Spark the interest and then get with me and I will help you close that deal and I will help you make money. We can get the client on the phone. We can do a needs analysis over the phone, get all the information that we need, put together an illustration very similar to what you're seeing here right now, and then pretty much take care of the whole process and get the money moved over. All right. Actively promote what we do. Put yourself out there, ladies and gentlemen. I guarantee you, at the end of the day, it's going to reflect in the amount of money that you make. It's going to reflect in the commissions that you receive. Or you could do nothing. And if you do nothing, then there's really not a whole lot that I can do to help you. I'm not trying to come off as rude or aggressive, ladies and gentlemen, but I want you to understand that I wasn't in the business in 2008. I wish I was in the business in 2008. I wasn't in this business in 2008. So I did not get to capitalize on that opportunity. But now in 2020, I'm very much in the business and I'm very, very knowledgeable as far as how these products work and what we can do. So I'm going to capitalize the hell out of this shit because I want to help clients. I want to keep clients from losing 36% again 10 years from now because it's going to happen again. And I want you to do the same thing. And I want you to be able to make commission off of this. I want you to be able to create a second stream of revenue for a lot of you guys, a lot of you tax clients. I'm sorry, a lot of you franchisees, tax preparers. I understand that for a very long time, your business has been very stagnant, right? You haven't made the money that you used to make before. This is a perfect opportunity for you to supplement that. If I can make you an extra $50,000 or $75,000 in commission in 2020, just by pushing these products on your clients, I'm all for that because I know that's going to be life-changing for you. Okay. I'm going to close it up by allowing you guys to ask me some questions. So what questions do we got? Let's see. Infante, usually the bonds are, Jaime Infante is asking, what is the process of buying bonds and who issues bonds? Usually the bonds are sold by the same financial institution that sells them the stocks. So they'll diversify between the stocks and the bonds. But I'm telling you, the bonds are going to be shit. So the best safe way to go about it for the course of the next year or 2 years is going to be index. Well, I think it's going to be index annuities regardless. Even if we recover from all of this a lot sooner than anticipated, I still think fixed index annuities will outperform bonds over the course of time because you get to cap. Well, it depends on what annuities we talk about. Okay. So for example, there are companies like National Life Group. We love National Life Group when it comes to life insurance. Phenomenal company when it comes to life insurance. And I'm not trying to break anybody's heart here, but National Life Group sucks when it comes to annuities. It's just not a good company when it comes to annuities. Why? Because their caps are very, very low. And the only thing that they really have going for them is their lifetime income. Their lifetime income is very good. We have companies with better lifetime incomes than National Life Group, but their lifetime income is still good. So if a client wants to put their money in there and eventually take income out of it, it works really well. But if the client puts their money in there for interest rate accumulation with a cap of 1.7%, you're never going to make that interest rate accumulation. It's not going to happen. You either need to have higher caps, a 5 or a 6% cap, or you need to have uncapped strategies. F&G has uncapped strategies, which means whatever the index does, that's what you get to make. And whenever we're in negative scenarios like we are right now, you don't lose any money. So these are things to keep in mind. Another company that comes to mind, Allianz. Allianz is phenomenal on the life insurance side. I don't think they're very good on the annuity side. So it's like I told you in that example, there are bad annuities and then there are good annuities. So it really just depends on what the client is looking for. If the client just wants somewhere to park their money and they really don't care much on whether they make interest or not, that doesn't really matter. As long as it's an index annuity, if you don't really care about the upside, you just want to put your money somewhere safe, then you're good. I mean, it's not going to affect you. But most clients are going to want to make interest. I mean, they're choosing to park their money somewhere for 7 or 10 years. It's because they want to make a return on their investment, which means that you want to be able to give them the 6%, the 7%, the 10%. That's a very good question, Jaime. All right, what are the questions we got? Let's see. So George Nino is asking me, how do we properly get annuity clients? I'm assuming they are about to retire or about to take out their 401. How do we target this market? George, I just answered that question a little while ago, man. You need to promote safe money. You need to be out there promoting safe money. You know, tell clients, hey, if you lost money, I can help you. Now, if they're still working for the company where they set up the 401k, you can't move it. So at that point, we have to figure out additional instruments that we can help them with. But you just need to be out there promoting safe money. Hey, I can make you interest without losing you any money. And that can either be in the form of an annuity or that can be in the form of an index universal life insurance policy, which I'll talk about at a later date. You guys are complicating your life. George, you're complicating your life, man. There's no complication here. It's safe money. You catch the upside when there's upside and you don't catch any downside. All the logistics will be worked out once we bring the clients in. When we bring the clients in and the client tells us, well, I'm still working for this company So I mean, the 401k is very much active. I'm putting money into it. Well, we can't move it right now. But you know what we can do? We can set them up with an index universal life insurance policy. So that's when we start breaking down their benefits. We start breaking down how much money they're putting into the 401k. Maybe we can take a little bit of that margin and supplement an index universal life insurance policy. Like I said, I'm going to go over that at a later date. So don't complicate your life initially, guys, because if you complicate your life initially, you're not going to do anything and you're not going to be out there actively looking for clients. Just be out there promoting save money. We have a zero floor. We can make you the upside when there's an upside, 8%, 9%, 10%. That's it. That's all you have to say. And whoever hooks, whoever you're able to bring in, then we do a financial needs analysis. When we do a financial needs analysis, that's where we figure out exactly how it is that we can help. So Jim Clark is asking me, the client that we set up with a $53,000 annuity a couple of months ago hasn't made a dime, but hasn't lost anything either. Jim, that is 100% correct. They haven't lost any money. They're exactly where they were at before. Correct. And so we basically saved them $18,000 with them not even realizing it. That is 100% correct, Jim. There's a lot of people that have lost 36%. So if you lose 36% in one account and you don't lose 36% in another account, the way I see it is that's a 36% return on investment because you didn't lose it. So yes, Jim Clark, that's perfect thinking, man. Charles Wolf is saying that he's one of them and that his dad is 85 and his mom is 81. So I'm guessing that dad and mom may have lost some money in the market, Chuck. And if that's the case, I mean, we can help. With a lot of these clients, ladies and gentlemen, we may need to give them a little bit of time to recover, let the market go up just a tiny bit and then move them. All I'm asking, the one thing that I'm asking you to do is just plant the seeds. Just plant the seeds. Be out there talking about safe money. Let people know, hey, if you lost money, we can help you develop a game plan. And it doesn't matter if you know or don't know how we're going to develop that game plan. The only thing that you have to say if you're not very knowledgeable is, our company helps clients with that. Let's set up an appointment and I'm going to bring somebody that can answer all of your questions. That somebody can be me or somebody that we work with that's very knowledgeable in annuities, and we can help, guys. That's it. Don't complicate your life. Don't start answering all the questions when you initially talk to a potential client. Just say, well, let's set up some time to talk, and I'm going to bring somebody that's very knowledgeable. That's really the way we sell them, guys. Just be out there promoting save money, find as many potential leads as possible, get them to sit down for a phone call, or if they're here in our area and we can sit down with them face to face after all this blows over, we'll sit with them face to face and we'll start closing some deals for you and make you thousands and thousands of dollars in commission. Good questions, guys. Thank you so much for being so engaged. I really appreciate it. All right, let's see if I have any other questions. I think I answered everybody's question. All right, wonderful. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being so engaged today. Please be on the lookout for clients that have lost money, which is pretty much 100% of America. And let's figure out a way to help them. And I'm here to help you, help them. And I'm here to help you make money because that's what it's all about. It's about running a successful business and helping a lot of people. Reach out to me if you have any questions. I'll see you guys at 1 o'clock. We have a really, really good annuity training today at 1. Please don't miss it. Very, very knowledgeable gentleman. Very, very good at annuities, and he's going to give you a lot of really, really good information. I have one more question. Hold on. Okay. You're welcome, Ms. Yolanda. Yolanda says thank you. All right, guys. I'll see you guys in a little bit. 1 o'clock. Thank you.